All right, today we're going to be talking about user pain points at every stage with marketing. My name is Karma Hunter. I'm a marketing strategist for tech startups, service-based B2B businesses, coaches and consultants. And I've been in marketing for about 25 years now. And I have my marketing company, digital marketing agency. Also, I work for Nevada SBDC, Small Business Development Center at UNLV's Office of Economic Development Center. So right now, I'm hosting this session on behalf of Rachel Gomez. She works with me at Nevada SBDC. If you haven't heard of Nevada Small Business Development Center, we are a nonprofit organization. We are funded by SBA and UNLV's Office of Economic Development Center, and we provide business advice at no cost to you. So we have experts, advisors that can help you in your business about pretty much any parts of your business: operations, HR, funding, loans, marketing strategy. Pretty much anything. So you can go ahead and sign up at nevadaspdc.org and request advising and become a client, and we can help you there. All of our services are no cost to you. So please become a client and utilize our services. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about solving user pain points at every stage with marketing. And this is something I chose because it is very important that we align our strategies with the stages of our startup, also with the pain points of our users and with our target audience. We see our founders putting the cart before the horse when it comes to marketing strategies when they're building their business. And what happens is, a lot of times this costs us wasted money, wasted time, right? Wasted energy. And then sometimes we do these things and then we start backpedaling at a later stage and trying to do things all over again. So in order to save you time and money and energy, I wanted to go ahead and go over the strategies that will actually make sense at each stage. I'm hoping this will, no. Okay. All right, our agenda. So we're gonna go over the stages of startups, common mistakes that founders are making, our pain points as the business, and our users' pain points, and the marketing strategies, and also the benefits of these marketing strategies if we follow them correctly. Why is this happening? Oops. I'll get this out of the way. Okay. So our stages of startups. We start with the ideation stage. This is where we have a concept, an idea. And this is where we need to spend our most time on market research. And I can't stress this enough because a lot of times we spend this much time on market research and we think that we already know what we want to do, what people want, and we start moving on, right? But we need to spend a lot of time on market research in order to lay our foundation right. Here, we create our business plan. But we want to make sure that we know that our business is feasible and reasonable, right, at this stage. That's why the market research phase is very, very important. Welcome. And then we go to the validation stage. This is where we have a minimum viable product and that we're getting customer feedback and that we are testing our product. Customer feedback is huge. And you will see customer feedback at many stages of your startup, and this is going to be huge. And that's why it's huge for us to align our user pain points with our marketing strategies, right? Then we go into our product market fit stage. After we validate that there's a use case for our startup, our idea, our concept, we are now getting into the market, right? We have a minimum viable product, we tested it, we now have the product, and we are now refining this product. And we are now acquiring users. Then we go into growth stage. We now have the product developed properly. We want to grow our company, grow our brand. This is where we start scaling. This is where we are putting more money into our marketing in order to increase our revenue. Now, it doesn't mean that this is where we start putting money into our marketing. We're already putting money into our marketing in the ideation stage. Why? Because we got to start doing market research. In the validation stage, we're putting money into our marketing for testing, for feedback, and all those things, right? But in the growth stage, we're putting marketing money, a marketing budget, in order to grow our business. So this is going to be probably a lot of ad spend and increase the revenue, right, to acquire more users and expand. Then we go into maturity stage. This is where now we are grown. We are in the market. We're well known. And this is where we're going to need to optimize. We're going to need to increase efficiency of our product. And we're going to have steady revenue. This is where we know we're sustainable, we're steady, right? And now we're like, what now, right? What do we do? Well, we got to expand. We're now getting into new markets. We need to diversify our product, meaning probably new features, maybe new side products or services, right? Downsell, upsell. And we got to scale. So these are the stages. And afterwards, maybe you exit, right? Big exit. All right. Any questions in the stages? Yes.
So you were talking about spending money in the market research phase. So for myself, I've been in this position, and a lot of times it was very, I had to go around about way to find studies, academic studies, because they typically cost like $2,000 to whatever $1,000. And so I've been able to kind of get ways around it with UNLV, like library who has access to things like that. But would you know like any other ways to get into studies like that to fine-tune your market research better?
Depends on your idea in the industry, honestly. There are cost-effective ways, but it all depends on what your idea is. Can you tell me more about what you want to do in the concept?
My project is about expanding the relationship between sports instructors and their athletes outside of the face-to-face lesson using AI computer vision. So like for me, I've seen in the market that there's been a lot of these different products that we're touching on which have been successful, but for me it's a little bit, there's more of a science behind it because I've had the experience between being an athlete myself and being an instructor. And for me it's more about understanding, I guess, the that whole market.
Sam Tam Tom?
Yeah, looking further into that, seeing the trends now, what's going on now, which luckily I've got my hands on a couple of documents where I was able to get into it a little bit, but they weren't the best, into really diving deep into learning the atmosphere on a quantifiable level.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of like one of my struggles, and was curious if maybe if you would know of like other avenues to look down, because outside the librarian I've been Google searching
right
stuff, but
yeah,
of course they only give you like a small snippet of like the very broad information, and then it's like well it's gonna cost you $3,000 if you want to know more.
right.
If you actually know the author of the paper you're looking for, you contact them directly, they're happy to give it to you for free. Because those fees, they don't get any of the fees.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
So, it all goes to the journal,
Yeah.
who's publishing, gets those fees.
Okay, that's good to know.
The authors,
Yeah.
just contact them directly on LinkedIn or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll give it to you gracefully.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Great tip, because that's what I ask my interns to do. Whenever they're doing market research, I ask them to contact the author of the article. However, you can come to us for market research, and I can assign that project to one of my interns. That may be a little bit more high level. If it is too technical, then what else we can do is UNLV has, like, if it is a technical project and if it's about AI and such.
Yeah, it's more of I don't want to get into the studies of that too much because we already have an idea when CTO, we're planning on how to actually execute and build that. Right? It's just more of I want to be able to document, present when that day comes to venture, getting back if I need that, to have the data to be able to back it up and say, hey,
Gotcha, okay.
From this article, this says this. So as you're going through the whole due diligence process, I want to be able to kind of have that presented and ready to go.
Gotcha, okay. Well, I mean, that's something we can try to help you with as well, but like he said, contacting the author of the article would be a great way to follow up with that.
Yeah, because they're real happy to know anyone's reading their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I honestly would have been really diving into all this stuff, but because of the fact that, like, when I would Google search, it's literally just like, all right, I mean, I'm able to do the math, myself to timestamp some, right? But, which I've done, but it's like, for me, I'm very, very interested in learning more about what the data actually, the breakdown of it all.
Yeah, and you should have the author's name.
I think they do, they typically do. It's just, honestly, I was like,
and if they're still working in the university, you can contact that university directory and get them directly that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. All right, so ideation stage. During this stage, our pain points are uncertainty about product market fit and lack of user research. So we don't know if our idea actually has a use case, and we don't know if we don't have any user research at this point, right? A lot of the times what happens is, as a founder, we have an idea and we think, oh, this is a great idea. And if it's a tech product, a lot of times, if it's a unique idea, right, we think it's, ooh, this is genius because it's unique. Now, we got to make sure it has a use case. And I worked with clients who had ideas, and they were technologies that never been seen before, right? So the product owner was very excited because it's a never seen before technology, right? And as the CMO myself, when I look at it, I see that it's not marketable because there is no use case for the users. So in order to market this product, we needed a lot of other features to get it out in the market. So you got to make sure, that's why you got to do your user research, right? Now, as a marketing person, before I even do this user research, I'm able to see it. But of course, I have to do the user research a lot more to understand that user need for use, right? User pain points are going to be users are unsure if a product exists or solve their problem. They're going to be skeptical about new products, or they're going to be unaware about their problem. So this is a very important thing when it comes to marketing. You're going to have awareness levels when it comes to your target audience. You're going to have users or audience that is unaware of their problem, right? This is unaware audience. There's going to be an audience who are aware of their problem, but they don't know about the solutions. There's going to be an audience who is aware of their problems, aware of the solutions, but they're not aware of the products. Also, there's an audience aware of the problems, solutions, products, but not your product. And then there is an audience who are aware of the problems, solutions, products, your product too, but they're not ready to buy, right? So at this stage, obviously you don't have a product, right? So there could be people who are not even aware of their problems yet. So you're going to be talking to people who are not aware of their problems, who may be aware of their problems, who may be aware of their solutions, and who may be aware of the other products, right? So think of all of these people and make sure to survey and get feedback from all of those people.
What's your best approach on that for people that know, they kind of like know they need it, but like just aren't there yet, right? Kind of scenario, because I mean, it's always that problem where, you know, especially for small to medium-sized businesses that I go after, right? Like, you know, I always break it down to, you know, 40% of the people have a product, right? 40% of people figure like they can do it themselves, and you know, and then 10% is like you're just never going to switch them. How do you market that 40% that are going to convert them? Do you do loss leaders? Do you recommend, you know, what is that kind of tipping point to make them go to that next point?
So that's an easier audience to sell because they already know they have a problem. They already know the solutions. They're a bit more aware. With that audience, it's more about handling objections, right? Why they need to choose you versus the other ones. So objection handling and showing testimonials, case studies, what you've done before, and also why you shouldn't do it yourself, but you should, you know, get a help of a professional. What is your differentiation? Those type of that type of content, because they already know how to and such, right? They already know the value and such, so it's more objection handling at that point.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. You're welcome. So in the ideation stage, right, the most common mistakes are skipping. The first one, of course, skipping user research. I cannot stress this enough, because if you don't do user research, you're gonna have a misaligned product and you're gonna be wasting your resources. And you don't want to do this because you don't want to backpedal at like the later on stages. And another thing is not creating early content. So when I say this, a lot of founders are like, what? I don't even have a product yet. What are you talking about? How am I going to create content, right? This is where you need to start creating content in order to pulse check of the audience or of the target audience you have, so that you can actually do the get feedback from your audience. You can do polls, surveys, you can do how-to content. You need to understand their pain points, their problems. Where are they at with this idea? This is where you gotta understand the use case, right? If you have a solution, a real solution for them, if there's a real need for them. So if you don't start creating content, you won't have early traction. Even if you don't have a product, you don't have to talk about the product, just talk about the area what the product is about, right? What is the product, the solution that product is providing, or the problem that the product is going to provide the solution for. And of course, we said feedback. If you don't get feedback, you're going to have misguided development, and your product success will be delayed. Any questions here? All right. So in the ideation stage, the strategies are validating the product through user research, identifying early adopters, because you're going to need people to test your product in the validation stage later on, right? And you got to position your product to solve specific problems. So this is getting you ready for your brand strategy, for your positioning, for your messaging. With the information you collected in the ideation stage, this is where you're going to start shaping up your brand strategy, your messaging. What are you going to say? What is your value proposition is going to be? How are you going to introduce yourself, your product, to the users later on? So this is going to be very important for you. Now here, I want you to think about the digital marketing, just online, right? On social media, on forums. What can you do in order to validate your product through user research online? What are the things you can do online?
You can read the comments.
Oh, no, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just saying you can read the comments.
Of?
Comments, the discussion between people that are using the products. Sometimes forums and stuff.
Which products?
Product.
We don't have a product yet.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So which comments? No, you're in the right. You're in the right thinking process,
Yeah.
but we don't have a product yet. So which comments would that be?
What people want. It could be other products in the market that people are using, and they're saying what problems they have. So you could go to those comments, and then you could start to piece things together to create something to solve it.
Perfect. Yes, that would be a way. How about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, go where the community is for your product, right? So, there are communities on Reddit. One
Yes.
I like doing is I like taking road trips. And so I'm working on an app to take road trips. So I go to the road trips and I hear what they're saying. I'm getting brave here and I'm gonna go ask opinions about what they would like to see in a road trip app. But I think it's going to understand maybe who your users are and what communities they may be online, and then go and get involved in the communities. Facebook groups would be another one.
Yes.
Probably. But I'd like to hear other ideas too.
Yeah. Please.
I would say user-generated content or hashtags, explore page,
How would you utilize hashtags?
to do research. I would narrow down my audience. I would study some of the top performing content. This is what I'd actually do. I would study the top performing content. I would see what hashtags they have in common, and I would try to stay away from things that are more than, I think, like 2 million posts, because it's just gonna disappear within that. So trying to find niche hashtags within a niche. So it's like, if I do streetwear.
And what do you do with them? When you find the hashtag, what do you do with the hashtag?
I can follow the hashtag, that's one.
Okay.
Like I just said, I study the content of
Okay. Okay.
top performing creators.
Okay. Okay. Great. Yeah. All right.
I'm not sure if this is valid in itself, but could you find out what people are searching on Google?
Of course.
Google
And
Trends.
then-
Yes.
And then, you may not get exactly what you want, but you may be able to see where your idea falls relative to, how many searches.
Yes.
Like keyword searching.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You can do Google Trends search. You can do keyword search. Definitely, those are valid. And you can do. You can create your own forums, your own polls, like you were saying on Reddit. Also, you can create landing pages, which we're going to talk about in a second, in the validation stage. So, validation stage. Here, our pain points are difficulty generating leads, low user acquisition, and untested market assumptions. Our users' pain points are they're hesitant to try a new product. Obviously, they don't know about us. And unclear messaging around the value of the product. Remember, we said positioning. This is where our messaging needs to be right because they don't know about us. And we need to have clear messaging so that they understand our value and they want to test our product, right? Because this is where now we have a minimum viable product and we want to get testers and we want to get some early leads. And we said generating leads. We have difficulty generating leads because they don't know us, right? So here, the biggest mistakes we're making, again, feedback, right? Because we gotta have early adoption. Not having landing pages. So here, one of the biggest mistakes founders are making is having they're trying to have a full-blown website with a bunch of branding, spending lots of money in branding and time and all of that. You don't necessarily need all of that branding and the full-blown website. You do need landing pages. Yes, some branding. Of course, have your logo and this and that. But don't spend so much time into your branding and the website and spend like $20,000 on a website or something like that, right? Have some landing pages in order to generate leads. Yes. And what I always say is offer a lead magnet. Has anyone heard of what a lead magnet is? Okay. A lead magnet is a free piece of valuable information that you put behind the wall in order to collect people's email addresses or phone numbers so that they can give you they can opt in and give you their email address and receive that free valuable information. This could be like an ebook, checklist, PDF. It could be the trial of your product, webinar, something like that. Now, the most important thing is we don't want to just give anything for free because nobody wants just one more thing free or another email in their inbox, right? This needs to be aligned with your main offer, your main product, right? And it needs to solve a problem for your target audience. That is very important. And I always say that, think of it in a way where whatever your product is or whatever your offer is, what is the first step of that solution? So you can offer that, right? And this could even be a blog post sometimes, a series of blog posts, right? You could be creative about these things sometimes. It could be somebody else's blog post, and you can say, hey, these are the articles that helped me so much in this ideation process, right? And you can send that as an email, put it behind the wall, right? So why are we doing this? Because if we collect these emails through this landing page, now we are generating leads. We understand that these are the people who are the ideal clients we have when we are launching our offer, because we know these are the people looking for this exact solution. They're relevant to our solution, right? Because when we launch our offer, we don't want to launch it in the air. We want people waiting for the offer. So that's why it's important that we are having landing pages.
Excuse me.
Yes.
There's some more information in your. What are you getting out of that? My question. So you're getting their email address, which could be valid, maybe it isn't valid. I mean, some people may just. It's like the old junk mail stuff. It was like people were asking to be put on the junk mail list because they love getting things in the mail. I mean, how do you know what you're getting is valid? That you're getting really valid inquiries and not a bunch of people who just want to see what you've got?
Because why should I give you my information for something irrelevant? Right? Like, why should I sign up for something that is irrelevant to me just because it's free? I'm not gonna want, for instance, if I'm not interested in information about construction, right? I'm not gonna sign up for it.
You're not going to.
Right, I'm not going to, but someone who is interested in construction will, right?
Yeah.
So?
Well, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is the old, I don't know if you remember back in the day when we didn't have email.
Uh-huh.
We had junk mail.
Uh-huh.
I mean, real junk mail came into your mailbox. And everybody used to say, oh, I don't want to get junk mail, I don't want to get this, I don't want to get that. But there was a group of people who really were signing up because they wanted to get any kind of mail. There's a lot of people who are lonely, and they just,
Well, I mean, that I don't think that happens as much anymore because everybody's getting enough junk mail. Plus, you are doing this in order for them to opt in so that it doesn't go to junk mail, right? Opt-in is there's GDPR rules and email regulations, and that's why you want them to give you their consent. So when you do this, they give you their consent in order to receive your content. So, yes. I'm sorry.
I would say typically people find you mainly nowadays through a piece of content. That piece of content makes them feel like this was enough free value for me to follow up with the call to action.
Yes.
On the video to say, yo, book a free consultation, download my free ebook. So it's really that content that's already solidifying that, okay, I'm going to give you my real email because I want to actually download that free, the extra information that's not in that 60-second video. So most people aren't going to give fake emails because then you probably won't even be able to download it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funnel that gets them there anyway. Your regular content gets them there.
I'm just not sure how many are valid.
I mean, it's also for your conversion rates too. The more you
Yeah,
have, the more
exactly.
you're likely to actually close the deal.
And you start, and this is what we do when it comes to conversion optimization, right? Once you get that email, after that, you start following your data. If that person received that email, if they opened it, if they read it, if they clicked on it, and that's what we do as marketers, watching those numbers. And then once we do that, we optimize those numbers, right? Then we send other emails in order to increase open rate, increase read rate, increase click-through rate, and all of those with other emails to optimize them so that we can convert them higher later on. And that's why we need to do that and to see the data, because we're going to send nurture emails later on and put them through on the funnel in order for them to take the next action and the next action and the next action until they become a client.
Sorry to piggyback on continuing the conversation, but I think to your point, I get what you're saying, right? Like someone putting in like a big email, great, I got my PDF, I'm good, right? But I think it's the responsibility, like if we know that as the business, right, creating a great landing page, the content that you are creating is valuable enough where that user feels like I'm actually getting something out of this outside of just the PDF. Hence, I'm going to put my real email in rather than a fake one. So by doing the landing page, making great solid content, right? That is one of the steps to building trust to get the real email that you're looking for.
I get that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe my question is, what would be a good conversion rate?
On what part?
Oh, I get 100 emails. What is considered good?
Open rate?
No.
20% is average.
20% open rate.
You start with 10%, then you start increasing.
What is the conversion rate to somebody taking action? So presumably, you've given them something and there's a call to action. I don't know what the rate is. Is it 3%? Is it 5%? What could we expect?
So you expect, when you first start, right, you expect 10% down the line for each action. And then you want to increase to 20% for each action, and then you want to go higher, of course. That's what we look at. And as a strategist, this is my genius as far as the funnels, right? How to map out those funnels and the buyer's journey, how to increase those conversions at each step. And like he said, after this, what makes that lead magnet and how you nurture them to take the next action, and then take the next action, and take the next action for them. And how you increase that percentage.
I would imagine that after you give them the call to action, they do something, that small percentage of people, that small percentage anything you follow up on as a higher percentage, because these people are really interested.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And then you segment those people, and then you send them other emails, and then you narrow down, and then you send them other emails and such. Yeah, exactly. So yes, we said early adopters. We need early adopters so that we don't spend more money on the ads, and they refer us. And the marketing solutions are blending pages, running low-cost ads to test interest. This is where we want to run ads just for testing purposes, not necessarily for generating lots of revenue, right? And measuring early traction. So here, what I need you to do is to go to Instagram and pull up my account, The Real Karma Hunter, and go to the link in my bio. The link in my bio is going to have 4 other links, and click on the top link.
What was the name of it?
The Real Karma Hunter.
Real Karma?
Yes. And it is like that because my first account was stolen from me, so that's why it's now The Real Karma Hunter. What does the top link say?
karmadna.com/bio.
Yes. And the top link on that one is going to open up a page.
How to get leads with organic content, free mini course. Is that it?
Yes. Click on the top one.
This one?
Yes. Now what does it say?
Write a landing page copy so that you get more leads.
Yes. That course, it's a free course. You can sign up to that, and it's going to teach you how to create a high converting landing page. And it has other courses behind it too that you can watch about content. And it has deliverables as well.
Is this how you get leads?
Sure, yes, yes. Exactly. That's how you get leads. Any questions? Yes.
So do you have any advice on content? I mean, I make content for all of my businesses because I do clothing, I do a little bit of consulting. Content is honestly, I'm younger, so content is how I grew up selling. So I just want to see if you might have some pointers on maybe how to speak to your target audience a little bit better, or any types of call to actions that might be able to put on something.
I would say, there's so much, honestly. Do the second course on that link. There's a lot on that second course about content. But let's talk after the session.
Are you still finding value in like offering like the, what is it called, like the free booklet or whatever it may be for people having clicking on the links?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's not always, for me, it's not always about getting a transaction at first. There's more value when you get a transaction on the back end because people have already got the social proof along the way.
Yes.
It's worth it.
Yes.
Instead of asking for the money right away.
And sometimes, so I don't take on any client. The clients I take on got to be at a certain stage. So when I get on a call, if they're not at a certain stage, I give them my free resources, and they take those free resources and they get the value, and they're like, this is great value. And then sometimes it takes them a whole year to get ready in order to get my services, and then they come back when they're ready, right? And sometimes that's your sales cycle for some of the services, right? And there are marketing agencies or marketing strategists that take on clients in the beginning because of the type of services they provide. But some of us, we take on clients at the later stages, and they get ready for us later on and come back. So yeah, there's definitely value for that. Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that there's a book, it's an audio book, it's called The Story brand framework. And I think they were talking about kind of like what exactly we were talking about, to where it's the every email or like that, the way you message it is more of like, you want to go on a date, or you want to grab coffee.
Exactly.
Grab coffee, right?
Yes.
And then once they get to the point, the buy is marriage.
Yeah.
At that point, it's really the book.
You got to date before you marry, right?
Yeah. 'Cause
Exactly.
people are, like, are still testing and trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out like who this company is, what you're providing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Story brand framework.
I feel like I heard that before.
It's really good. I have it here too. I can show you.
Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. So product market fit stage. This is where we have pain points about user churn, lack of repeat users, unclear value proposition. And our user pain points are they're struggling to understand the full value of the product, and they may get frustrated with complex onboarding, and they could drop off if they don't see quick wins. So when it comes to onboarding, right, this is now we're in the market and we need to pay more attention to our current users. So I say this a lot, where your product success is not measured by how many users you have on your platform. It's measured by how many users are actually actively using your platform, right? There are apps and platforms that are free. Not all of them are paid. And it's easy to send someone to the App Store and get them to download your app and create an account. That doesn't mean that we're all using all the apps we download, right? So how are we gonna actually make them use these platforms? Or sometimes we actually pay for some of the apps, but we don't use them. Why? Because it's maybe complex to set them up. Or we don't even know all of the features to use. We just know one of the features and we just use it every now and then. But we don't know all the features that we can get value out of it. So then, do we renew subscription? Maybe not, because we don't see all the value. We don't get all the return on our investment. So this is an onboarding or customer success issue. And I've been in positions of head of customer success before, head of demand generation before, and I look at customer success function as almost like a demand generation position, because with customer success, it's important that you actually educate those clients in order to understand the value of your product and use it effectively so they can get the return on investment and stay and keep using your platform. Because if you have like a SaaS platform, maybe you need to upsell, maybe you need to expand those accounts, right? And those people who get that return on their investment, they're going to refer you, they're going to become your champions. So this is very, very important that you have that good seamless onboarding process and that educational content for them in order to help them set it up and use it effectively. So this is a very, very important crucial point for the market fit stage. We said poor onboarding stage, this is going to hurt you. And lack of educational content is a big mistake. And inadequate customer support is going to result in negative reviews and get them off of the platform. So we got to make sure to pay attention to those. So your marketing solutions will be improving customer onboarding, demonstrating quick wins, and providing user education and ensure retention. Any questions here? All right. Growth stage. Our pain points will be scaling, because this is where we want to scale. We want to, of course, decrease our customer acquisition cost, and we want to find new distribution channels. And our user pain points are going to be, they're going to be overwhelmed with too many options because the market is saturated at this point. They're going to see us as another product in the market. And here, we want to start obviously running ads, putting more money into our marketing budget. And we want to have targeted ads. We don't want to just run ads to everybody in the country or the world. We want to make sure it's targeted to our ideal clients. And we want to have referral programs, right? We said, those users who love our product, we want them to be our champions and refer other people so that we don't have increased marketing costs. And this is where we want to increase our branding budget and have consistent branding. Remember I said, you don't need to spend too much money in branding in the earlier stages. This is where maybe you're going to be rebranding and spend more money into branding and have cohesive branding and really, really, really invest in your branding because you're growing, because now everybody needs to know about you. So this is where you spend time with that and money. And at growth stage, Marketing Solutions will be creating referral programs, improving user engagement through personalized experiences. This is where, you make sure your CRM platforms are all set up and everything is personalized. They don't want to feel like they're just another number for you. You're segmenting your audience. Expanding marketing efforts with consistent branding. Any questions for where did I go? Growth stage. All right. Maturity stage. This is where, again, market is saturated. There's stagnating growth and reduced customer engagement. This is where now they're feeling disconnected from us. They're waiting for updates and features. So one of the things that I talk about, a lot of the times you'll have your product owner, the technical guys, and then you have your marketing department. So the product owners, you guys, they're going to be so much, fixated on the technical aspects of the product, right? They want to build the features, the technical features. But us, marketing guys, we know what the users want, and we know how we're going to need to sell the product. So we're going to need some of the features that are going to make the product marketable. So that's why you got to make sure your product owner and your marketing department have good relationships together, and they're talking together in order to align those features well, right? And this is where you're getting feedback from your users about the features they need, and you're communicating to your product owner, hey, these are the things we need now. We are matured. We need to sell more, and we need these features updated and added. Well, you got to have this communication at all times, even from the ideation validation stage, because like I said earlier, this happened many times in other companies before, that we had great features, technical features, but we didn't have marketable features. So, yeah.
You said feature, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the features can, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but the features, I'm sorry, I'll come back to it. I literally just lost it.
Okay. Consequences will be ignoring user feedback, because we'll have outdated features if we don't do that, and our competitors will have those features. Yeah.
So your features, if you say in the consulting in business, would be services. So you need to broadcast your services more, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not having personalized marketing is going to be an issue. And innovating with content. So here, we're matured. We're now well-known in the market. This is where we can't just have how-to content anymore. We need to be known in the market as thought leaders. We got to innovate our content, right? Maybe we're going to be doing podcasts, webinars, having partnerships, collaborations. We have to be well-known at this point.
Something that I've seen in a video that I like. Called infotainment. So being informational, but making it entertaining, because people aren't going to social media just to learn. They're going to escape their life after work and stuff like that. that.
Yes, that's important too. Exactly. Very good. Yeah, so here, make sure you're innovating with content and being a thought leader. Yep. Marketing solutions, developing loyalty programs. What is the difference between loyalty and referral programs?
So, yeah, what was that?
Difference between loyalty program and the referral program.
Loyalty program is for a customer. I mean, they can be for both customers, but a referral program can be for someone who's also not a customer. Right? It can be for influencers, stuff like that. And the loyalty program is more for rewarding someone for being a customer or something.
Yeah. Okay. What are the perks? What could be the perks?
Discounts.
Yeah, it's a way to retain the customers and continue to create value outside of like the products. I would say for loyalty programs, referrals, yeah, to some extent, I guess you can kind of keep it. It's not under the same bucket, but by your loyalty, you're able to show, use your referral code to get others, shows that you're loyal to that product.
Loyalty could be longevity, right?
Yeah, for
Account expansion,
Yeah.
right?
No, I was going to say that they're speaking for you, so it's kind of building up a social group, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Like user-generated content, just by actually word of mouth telling a friend.
Could be, yeah. Good. Expansion stage. So here we're entering new markets and adapting to cultural differences and competing with local players, right? And our users' pain points are going to be, they may be feeling alienated in other markets, so that's why we're going to expand into new markets. And they'll have specific cultural needs, and we'll need to tailor to the new markets. So not having localized marketing is going to be a mistake. Insufficient market research for those local markets is going to be a mistake, and not having local partnerships in those markets is going to be a mistake. So we want to do that. And marketing solutions are crafting localized marketing strategies, translating content, and leveraging regional influencers and partnerships. So once you overcome these mistakes, we're going to have better market alignment, faster refinement, user loyalty, improved retention, early traction, higher conversion, consistent brand, and increased engagement. Any questions?